Good morning, sunshines! Welcome to this video. This is probably the god video of the next 5 years of all Pokemon content and games and stuff that we're going to be getting. And it's a lot. It's so much. Alright, this is 5 years of all of the most impactful, heavy-hitting games that they are planning to release, that they're all working on right now in Game Freak and the Pokemon Company. And this is a massive leak because it comes with pictures, it comes with concepts, it comes with timelines and details and code names and everything, guys. This is Terra Leak 2. And we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. So, starting us off, this is a little summary table of what we're going to be looking at here for the next 5 years of Pokemon in this one peaceful little video. Gen 10 with procedurally generated islands and underwater exploration and DLC, of course. This is Wind and Waves, folks. This is Pokemon Wind and Waves. This is going to be the first thing we'll look at. Yeah, they are going to be adding something new, and we'll see proof of that in a sec from the leaks. Procedurally generated islands, so that the islands, the terrain, the region stays fresh for players. Completely unique take on this. It's basically very island based, so kind of similar to what you may have experienced in Gen 7. However, a whole new take on how that is going to work. There's also going to be full new underwater exploration. It's completely overdue in Pokemon games, but here we are, we're finally getting it. And this game is going to be huge. It's also expected to be released next year, as anyone could guess, honestly. It was actually supposed to be released this year, but everything was delayed, everything. So this was pushed back to next year. So it's going to be out on its usual timeline, I think. Other information on that is, some people are saying, like Centro is saying for now, that is actually expected to be Switch 2 only. And that's probably something that they got from the leaks, unless it's just a guess on their part. I would hold off on making that a conclusive fact, because like everything here, everything was held back, pushed back, delayed. Making it Switch 2 dedicated next year may also not be the final decision. They may actually quite very well make that on Switch 1 as well. So we'll see. Alright, we'll see on that. Now, we also have Pokopia, which we know was officially announced, and that's going to be getting DLC. We also have Pokemon Champions, we know that one, that's going to be coming next year. We also have Pokemon Legends 3. Now, I know 2 is about to be released, but here's some information about 3. It's based in Galar, it's going to be based around Gigantamax Pokemon, and it's going to be based 1,000 years before the Galar region in Sword and Shield. We're also going to be getting another game, multi-regional remake. Oh yes, it's going to be based off of Japan, but different parts of Japan are going to be melded together into multiple regions, which are probably going to be multiple regions that we know, alright, that we've already been to in previous games. And then Gen 11. Oh yeah, we already get information on that too. So a quick summary of the actual games with some pictures and their code names. Gaia. Alright, Gaia is Gen 10, folks. These are 2023, 2024 ROMs and concepts with pictures. For God's sake, the premise of Gen 10 is you start off in a busy, well-developed resort area, alright, a resort hotel, and some things happen. I'm not going to spoil too much or anything like that. It's nothing really too well fleshed out yet either way. But things happen, you go get your starter Pokemon, and then you can start doing islands. And what we can see here on screen, what it actually says, the 2023 ROM there, at the end of December, I was able to successfully create the first Gaia ROM. Thank you to everyone for your cooperation. Since this is mostly a feature preparation ROM, you won't be able to see implementation of Gaia projects. Okay, so it's just like demonstration ROM that they made for Gen 10. And then underneath that, the 2024 ROM, in ROM 3 we will create a ROM that allows you to check the implementation of Gaia on the first deserted island map with the picture right there. We aim to get each project up and running, including new battles and Poke mobility. Alright, so I assume that means mounts and whatnot, like they have kind of been implementing in recent games. So this here is a desert island, one of the islands that is expected to be implemented in the game. Now we can't get really a good picture of that, but it looks kind of like the entrance area to Sinnoh in Pokemon Legends Arceus, sort of, with excluding the volcano. If we just look at this right here, it does look very similar to that. So you got a beach, you wash up on the beach, you got this little entryway, and then you would have imagined the village over here. So it's kind of something like that. But that's what we're looking at. A desert island. It's going to be fully explorable, obviously. It's going to be part of the game. Wow. I mean, I just can't believe we're getting information on that. Then we up here at the top here, we have actually like a city area. It looks like we're running on a field maybe, or about to be running on a field, and there's like this city looking area. This might be the resort. It might be a different place. We don't know. It's not labeled. But it does seem to have some Pokemon in there, and I'm not sure. It's so tiny. It might be for Lucarios. It might be. And then God knows what this is. I don't know what this is supposed to be. It doesn't really show that much. Probably one of the oldest pictures that of Wind and Waves, Gen 10, is this one right here, which appears to be a real leak from a long time ago. This is, I think, maybe from the first Terra leak. However, this was where the original information for Wind and Waves, as thin as it was, coming from, and this came with it. And yeah, this is underwater exploration in Gaia, and it looks alright. Looks alright. It's kind of a blurry picture, of course, but the pictures go with like concepts and details about what they want to do in the game, and obviously that's going to undergo a lot of refinement. This is for Gen 10, so we'll be seeing what this is next year. So Pokemon Gen 10 is going to give us much more of a jungle vibe and a jungle survival vibe based off of what these leaks seem to be indicating and some of the pictures that we're getting. And this is something that we obviously haven't experienced in Pokemon really yet. So it would be nice. It will definitely suit the islandic theme that they're going for. And underwater exploration and just surviving in the jungle would be sick. Honestly, it'd be so cool. There's a new concept of how Pokemon exist in this game. Seed Pokemon or baby Pokemon of a species encountered in resort areas. So this is like the Gen 10, right? This is Gen 10 with the resorts. These are pre-evolved Pokemon. They're rarely seen in the land, and no one has seen its evolved form. When you go to the island where the package lives, it begins to evolve. It is said to have infinite variations in its form. Now, this is kind of a keyword for Gen 10. The thematic word that they're going for how they want this game to feel is infinite, okay? Might have something to do with what they're doing with the procedurally generated islands and all as well, but it appears to be also something that's tying in with how Pokemon exist in this game too. So Gen 10 is looking to shape up unique, very unique, with lots of new concepts, lots of new experiences to be had in this game that we've never seen before in Pokemon. So I'm really curious, and considering this is only like a year away, I'm really curious. I'm really hyped for this. So touching on what I mentioned earlier with how we're going to be starting off in Gen 10 is at a big resort hotel area. They really wanted to move off of like starting the game in small towns, the generic stuff that we've always done. And I'm kind of already seeing that in Pokemon Legends ZA because we're going straight to a big city. And here we go again with Gen 10, which is a year away. Apparently they want this hotel to serve as an MMO lobby, which is kind of bringing back Gen 7 vibes again. I feel like there's a lot of inspiration from Gen 7 for this, because they had something like that in Gen 7 where you could go to this like middleman online island thing where there's loads of stuff that you could do there. And obviously it wasn't a big thing because of just the internet culture the way it was back then, and it being on the DS and stuff too, and it being a much more limited game, all those things. So with Gen 10 it might be a big difference. We'll see. And like Central says here, they might scrap this. You know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what has happened since they said this in their preliminary like leaks first. Our professor appears to be a survivalist, a survival professor, not your generic kind of researcher. He is researching the relationship between weather and Pokemon. So now this is interesting because this seems to be about Gen 10. This is translated from Japanese using the Grok in implemented thing here on Twitter. It's not always going to be perfect, but the weather concept we were looking at seems to be something that they tied into a different game, not Gen 10. It seems to be something that they wanted to do for the multi-regional remake, which is what we covered a little earlier. So now it looks like they're also talking about this for Gen 10 as well, which would make sense in a way. If they are trying to play with that, they might have it over 2 different games. I think Gen 10 is going to be coming first as well, by the way. I think the multi-regional remake is something that's following year or even the year after. So not too much in a rush there, but it looks like the concept is still being worked on right now. Here is some plot elements to Gen 10. Very, very thin stuff, and it may be changed. But we are 13 as usual, almost usual. We were 15 in Pokemon Legends Arceus, believe it or not, according to the museum details in Pokemon Legends ZA. I'm not gonna get too much into that because there's a lot, but 13 is kind of a usual number for us, and we're a city kid here. We win the lottery, and we're taken on vacation. Okay, so what about the evil team? The evil team is a land development team. Very real, very realistic. A for-hire group that destroys nature to expand land for profit. They have no ideals, they just complain while working for their salary. So very, very robotic, seems like even Japanese style, just a land development corporation, right? So this weather stuff that we've been talking about appears to be something that might be tying in with how moves work. So if you're thinking again more Gen 7 inspiration, Z moves, all right, we're going to be having what, Tenkowaza, I guess weather moves, all right. Well, we'll see what the hell that means in the end. God, legendary Pokemon, you're kidding. Storm package Pokemon, all right. Role is old man. Lives on an island that repels people, possess the power to correctly guide people and Pokemon with the power of wind, only accepts humans who have properly raised breed Pokemon. Okay, so obviously the English is jinglish jumblish because of translations, but yes, this is, well, let's just say Storm and Wave legendaries. Is an old woman, so like what, themed off of an old man, themed off of an old woman. I assume these are actual legendary Pokemon. Lives on an island that repels people, possesses the power to correctly guide people and Pokemon with the power of waves. Only accepts humans who have properly raised them. Okay, so very much the same thing for both, just for the different versions. Now for some higher quality screenshots, folks. I don't want to zoom in too close to these, but I'm gonna get a lawsuit. But this looks like the beta ROM that has progressed a fair bit, folks. This is Gaia. This is Gen 10. Jungle atmosphere, deep in the jungle with Charizard. Gonna set everything alight. We got on the first picture, we got Eevee, Snorlax lying there, and a Charmander over there. I have no idea what this is supposed to represent. I don't think this is going to be real gameplay looking stuff. I think this might be just concept, like higher quality concept images, maybe graphics demos or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but this is different. This does look like gameplay on a very, very pre-beta ROM that they would have made. And there's a Shinx, or sorry, whatever the middle evolution is there. Then there's Charizard, and there's maybe a Shinx there, and then a Ghastly, of course, using the new model that we have in Pokemon ZA, which fleshes out the purple gas around it a lot more. This is actually something they changed for Pokemon Legends ZA that we're actually getting, that we're playing right now, and it looks like they may have kept that for this. Do not hold your breath for this kind of quality. Do not. This is probably the quality we're going to be getting almost. It'll be a little bit better than this, but this is not going to be able to do this. Some more screenshots of Pokemon Gen 10, folks. More jungle. It's a little blurry. There's a lot of like overlaid text in there, and they are small, and I'm going to keep them small, folks, for the safety purposes of this video. This is such a long goddamn video too. And then some battling with some Pokemon. There's a Gyarados in there, Shinx, the Sandygast, and then Lucario with our character, and some very basic UI. Not a fleshed out map, as you can tell, not compared to the other two pictures, for example. In the middle one, it looks like we're on a scooter. Looks like we're on a scooter there. And as if things just couldn't get any crazier, we have video footage of early Gen 10 graphics. Let's have a look. Guys, I do remind you that we talked about all the things that are going to be coming in this game, including underwater visibility and exploration and diving, which is going to be important in the graphics consideration. So here we're looking at an example of that. Oh my god. Can't believe we have video footage of something like this already as well. This leak is too much. That is... It looks good. Looks pretty nice. Definitely looks like an improvement as well. Animations are more. There's more of animations. Yeah, there you go, folks. Video footage of Gen 10. And I just want to point out, there's like more information coming from these leaks. These leaks are just being copy-pasted from documents that are from Game Freak themselves, internal documents, so don't worry about them being on Twitter here. This is the grand, I suppose, overview of Gen 10 after everything we just covered here. We get gym adventures. We do still have gym adventures. Weather move acquisition quests. So this is something to do with the weather moves we were discussing there. A new mechanic by the seams of it. Ride license quests. So similar to what we've already experienced too. You, especially in Legends Arceus, where you have to earn the ability to ride Pokemon. Alright, so this is probably going to be something fairly similar. MMO raid battles. Don't get too excited. I do expect there to be more MMO details for the next game that we're going to be covering in a second, so just watch out for that. But this case, I'm kind of thinking this is more like Sword and Shield style, okay? 4 people, and even Scarlet Violet style. 4 people to a raid, etc, etc, right? Kind of same stuff that we've experienced so far. Maybe. We'll see how much better they improve on that. We really have to see, because it's only next year after all. Pokemon Rescue, alright, and this kind of is interesting because we are touching on this jungle survival theme, so do keep that in mind. Boss Pokemon, seems like a new version of Totem or Titan Pokemon again. More Gen 7. Now, none of the leakers have touched on what I've been talking about with Gen 7 inspiration, but there's clearly a lot of Gen 7 inspiration going on here for Gen 10. It's just going to be vastly improved upon Gen 7 from back then. But yeah, none of the leakers have mentioned that. So I guess you heard it here first, I guess. It's a good idea to keep Gen 7 in mind when you're thinking about Gen 10 here. And then Pokemon Survival sounds like very similar to Pokemon Rescue, but they might be just 2 different sort of forms of gameplay. And diving too, alright? Diving as well. And very important, a brand new Pokemon engine. Pokemon Engine X. Alright, brand new graphics engine. Hopefully it's going to run smoother, etc. Alright, you know all the works, because they did obviously a new engine for Scarlet Violet, did a new engine for Sword and Shield, and they're going to be doing a new engine for this, and hopefully it is just improvements. They had enough time to do it as well. So other good news, guys, that's not written down here. Pokemon Company have decided to no longer rely on outsourcing work that they have put into these games, so they're going to be doing it more in-house focused. That's good news, folks. That is good news. So we'll see if that translates into a better game with Gen 10, and it's looking like it already just from what we're hearing. Now, this is the other game, another game, separate game, Seed. This is its code name, Seed. This is the multi-regional remake right here, and you can see that they've taken a map of Japan. They slated a couple of different regions together on it. 2 of them are fully connected. They specifically say that this is supposed to be a map region where you can walk from Sinnoh to Hoenn. So like I said, these are going to be regions we've visited before that they want to return here. In addition, and probably some of the biggest news of this video, that exact game is going to be an MMO. It's going to be made as a next-gen game that is playable by multiple people, MMO style. Wow. This is the dream game people have been wishing for decades, and it may still be a little while away, but maybe just like around the corner in general. We're actually getting that dream come true. What they mentioned down at the bottom right here is that they actually want to do something with weather and seasons, and make that something that changes with it, like in real time. Now, I'm not sure if they mean like one of their old ideas back in the old games, where if it was winter and it was nighttime, you'd be seeing winter and nighttime on your game. I'm not sure, because that is something they had on the old DS games. Is that something they're going to do again? Because if so, they'll really want to make this game last a while in order for people to enjoy the different seasons. Ringo. This is the other game that we've just been speaking about. This is the new Legends 3 based in Galar. and it has Gigantamax Pokemon. And what the middle picture here is showing, well, what the first picture appears to be showing, Pokemon Legends Arceus, or yeah, possibly, because this looks like that girl from Pearl Clan. It looks like it might be completely not, but either way, some of the items don't look familiar down there on the bottom right. In the middle, it's showing us a concept of having to make the first Gigantamax Pokeball. So this is, like I said, based 1,000 years before the events of Sword and Shield. Okay, and what we have in here is a Slowbro chef cooking for everybody, possibly curry, possibly. We also see some other Raboot. So you guys, I'll leave the detectives to this one, but this Slowbro looks different. It kind of looks like a Galarian Slowpoke, maybe Slowbro, I'm not sure. It's kind of standing up. It looks a little fat, and it's wearing like a yellow cape or something. I think it's just wearing clothes and a chef hat. I don't think it's a new Slowbro form, as people may like maybe considering. But yeah, this bowl close up here looks like he's cooking curry, all right, just like we did in Sword and Shield. So what they seem to be gearing towards here, which is written over there, is you're actually not going to have any Pokeballs. The way you're catching Pokemon is you're actually just incorporating them into your flock, your clan, your tribe, or whatever. And like I said with the middle picture, it appears to be the premise of the story. You're actually making the first Dynamax or Gigantamax ball, and you are going to be expected to battle Gigantamax situations in this game without any of the Pokeball, the comforts of modern days that we've experienced so far in Sword and Shield and whatnot. A bit of a better picture of that Pokeball making process right here, as well as another picture showing all of the stuff making other balls as well, presumably for Gigantamax. There's just so much, and it's kind of like, what's this? Is this like the first Arceus tablet? Man, I don't know what's going on here. There's Tinker Tank, man. What the? That's Gen 9. Hang on. It is worth paying attention to, even though we're going back to 1,000 years before in Galar. It is, now that they've done Gen 9, it is presumed that you incorporate everything that was added in Gen 9 to the official lore. That's just something you're kind of supposed to do. All right, so technically speaking, now that Gen 9 exists, every Pokemon in there has possibly existed for forever. Okay, so yeah, and we may be getting some Gen 9 Pokemon and maybe even Gen 10 Pokemon, who knows, appearing in this game. All right, and oh yeah, we've already spoken about Gen 10 anyway, so you guys know how this goes. This is back to Legends 3, all right, the Galar Legends fighting the Gigantamax in open field with a lot of Pokemon that, like we said, is part of your clan. They're not in Pokeballs or something, so this is how it is. This is the world. There's no Pokeballs. We're in a volcano fighting Gigantamax. Well, actually looks different to God, why don't I even remember the name of this Pokemon? We've gone through so much stuff. Well, you guys know what this Pokemon is from looking at it. There it is, and we got a mini map and everything. We got a fleshed out UI. This game looks fairly decently far in development. I cannot make out what this is on the left hand side. It looks like a jumble mix of different Pokemon here. There's a Magnemite there, Machamp, Pikachu, and these are really low level Pokemon. What are we doing against level 57 here? Is it level 6, 1 and 1? Unevolved? What's going on here? Yeah, I guess it is just like I don't fleshed out demo, not a fleshed out demo yet, but something's happening. Anyway, that's crazy. This is crazy. And then there's more. God damn it. So there's your crew. You're rolling up with your crew. So like, it's a gang of Pokemon that you're going around with, like this, instead of them being in Pokeballs. And you can see they are on the team here. We got our Bidoofs, Pikachu, Marrow, Clefairy, a bunch of Staravies, Magnemite there, Mr. Mime, and Gardevoir. Good lord. I'm not sure what they're up against up here. I don't know what that is, but it looks like they are engaging in a fight, and it's rock fire type. So this is probably the same instance of having fighting this guy at some point somewhere, or maybe on the way up, maybe after, I'm not sure. But yeah, you can see on the minimap it's like the same area, almost the same area. So goddamn, this is a Game Freak leak and a half, and a beta for Gigantamax Nidoking. Have a good one on that. Got a little spoiler for you for Pokemon Champions. This is going to be a Switch and a mobile game. Do keep that in mind. But it looks like we're going to have pretty decent graphics in it by the looks of it. And I guess Synapse, which we heard about before, and I did cover before, it turns out it's going to be Champions. It's crazy. Synapse was a new project that we were speaking about from previous leaks. We were unsure what that was going to be, but it looks like it turned out to be Champions. So let's read out what it has to say here. So the basic flow of Synapse gameplay: you borrow Pokemon or bring them from home, you reorganize your team and improve their skills, you participate in ranked battles, you can now earn rewards and learn how to acquire more Pokemon and strengthen your team. The direction and cycle of the drawings are not yet clear, so I plan to make them visible in the next ROM. So that's just like test talk. These are just internal documents. Oh my God, we can see some pictures here. I cannot zoom in on these, guys. You know how it is with Pokemon and shutting down videos. This video is gonna get me a lawsuit. But oh my God, some screens that we can see here: team, rental, shop. Oh, and the top one, battle. All right, battle. Yeah. So that's what we're looking at here on that menu there. God, you got the mystery gifts down here. Maybe what appears to be appearances, and then mail. Maybe you got the currency up in the top right. Oh my! I think we'll wrap up here. God damn it. So this leak also had loads and loads of stuff for beta of games that we've already gotten or are about to get, like Pokemon Legends EA. I only focused on the stuff that's coming in the future for the sake of the video's coherency, and just there's so much too, and for the time. But this is the last little bit of information. I may have said it, but like I did say, up to the next 5 years. This is Gen 11, expected to be coming by 2030, okay? 2030, Gen 11, 2026, Gen 10, and lots of games in between. Well, folks, thank you for playing. This was Game Freak out. All right, they're done. They're finished. This is way too extensive a leak for them to maybe ignore, for them to, just sweep under the carpet or try to recover from. This has given us everything that we're going to be doing videos on for the next 5 years plus. And that's everything. There's no gaps, there's no secrets in between here anymore. We have our content mapped out for us YouTubers, that is, and us players too. It's mapped out for like the foreseeable future. I don't even know most people watching this video are going to even still have interest in Pokemon by the time they even get through all of what we just covered in these leaks. This was a god leak. This was a leak to completely transcend the previous Terra leak by a lot, I think, because the previous Terra leak was just a lot of past stuff, beta stuff, some very, very few things for the future stuff, but this Terra leak was mostly future stuff. My God, and pictures and concepts and details. What? How did they let this happen? Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you around more for more details on what we covered in this video as we get them. God damn. Oh my God. Yeah. Have a good one. I'll see you around in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.